Bienvenue, you're watching Eye on Africa with me, Clarisse Fortuné, coming up on our program. A devastating landslide at a gold mine in the Central African Republic near the Cameroonian border has left dozens dead. As rescue teams race against time to find survivors, grief is spreading across border communities, with nationals from Cameroon and Chad among the victims of the tragedy. From Bordeaux to Addis, can Ethiopia become Africa's next wine destination? Southern Africa has long been synonymous with African wine, but now, with a little help from French expertise and Bordeaux grapevines, Ethiopia is making a surprising bid to put East Africa on a global wine map. In 1894, at the World's Fair in Antwerp, Belgium, more than 100 Congolese people were put on display in a so-called human zoo. More than a century later, Belgium is still grappling with this dark chapter of its colonial past. The Central African Republic has temporarily shut a gold mine near the Cameroonian border after a landslide killed dozens of people earlier this week. Rescue teams are still searching for survivors, and local communities are also struggling to come to terms with the tragedy. Cameroonian and Chadian nationals are also among the victims.
Cries of warning, but not enough to prevent tragedy. In a matter of seconds, an entire section of the Zamboye artisanal gold mine in the west of the Central African Republic collapsed. Hundreds of gold panners looked on, powerless to intervene. Search operations saw survivors rescued, but 48 hours on, dozens are still missing, including this man's younger brother.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to find our brother. He's still in the ground. There is no way to bring him out. In the end, we are forced to return empty-handed.
Authorities have released an initial death toll of 49 victims, but witnesses to the tragedy told France 24 they thought this was an underestimate.
It's more than 200 people. Some were carried out dead, others were carried out alive but died in hospital.
Driven by necessity, many gold panners soon resumed their work.
I've never seen a disaster like this. It's really scary, but what can we do? We're human beings, we try to help.
Rockfalls such as this are tragically common at mines in the Central African Republic, as they are often operated illegally without any oversight or safety measures.
And in other news, in brief, Liberia has received the first group of migrants deported from the United States under an agreement with Washington. 20 foreign nationals arrived in Monrovia on Thursday, the first of up to 1,200 people Liberia says it could accept over the next year. Authorities say the deportees will be free to leave the country or apply for asylum, and the Liberian government insists it has received no compensation for taking part in a program. Nigeria buried the victims of the boat disaster that killed at least 50, mostly children. More than 80 passengers were traveling to farms for work when the accident occurred, with their boat capsizing in a river in Sokoto State, northwestern Nigeria. Residents said the disaster has affected nearly every household in the community. Authorities cited ongoing concerns over poor boat safety, overcrowding, and the lack of life jackets, factors that contribute to frequent deadly boat accidents in Nigeria. And Algerian police seized more than 33 kilos of cocaine in what authorities described as the largest single anti-drug operation in the country's history. The operation led to the arrest of 25 suspects. More than 10 million pregabalin capsules were also seized. Pregabalin, a medication used to treat epilepsy and nerve pain, has increasingly been abused for its psychoactive effects. The investigation uncovered an international trafficking network operating in western Algeria, involving suspects from Algeria, Morocco, the Netherlands, and Mauritania. Southern Africa has long held a place on the world's wine map. Now, a partnership between French experts and Ethiopian winemakers is helping put East Africa on it too. Using grapevines imported from Bordeaux, Ethiopia's wine industry is beginning to uncork new opportunities with exports on the rise. And it's not just foreign buyers raising a glass. Ethiopians themselves are developing a growing taste for their homegrown vintage. Our correspondent Tom Kennedy went along for a sip.
The fertile grounds of southern Ethiopia are usually known for growing coffee and bananas. This French-Ethiopian winery produces 10 local varieties. 100% of seeds are imported from Bordeaux in France, but the subtropical highland climate has created a distinct drop. 12 years after producing their first variety, the fruits of their labour are finally starting to show.
Today we're harvesting the Cabernet Franc. We can prune these grapes twice a year and harvest once. First, I remove the unripe grapes and the diseased ones to ensure the best quality.
Castle Wine produces 1.4 million bottles per year in Ethiopia. Today they are packaging the medium sweet rosé, known for its strawberry and citrus aroma. Locals prefer fruity blends, while the dry wines are more popular for exports.
For Netherlands and Djibouti and China also, we have sending our wine for export market. The meantime, in locally also, it's increased our market. The culture of the Ethiopian people, it's increased year to year to consume wine, to drink wine. So now it's understand how to taste different wine, then the demand also is growing.
The rapid development of Addis Ababa has meant a surge in hospitality venues. At the Louvre restaurant, the former head of the Alliance Ethio-Française conducts a degustation. Locals come here to learn how to taste and pair wines.
What should I look for in a good wine?
For the red wine, you are going to look for something not especially strong, but something you feel the taste in your mouth. And it's something which will go very well with meat. And in Ethiopia, you love meat, so it will be fine with ketfu, teresegad, or what.
Ethiopian wine is expected to continue growing by 10% annually over the next 5 years.
In 1894, when the Belgian city of Antwerp was hosting a World's Fair, more than 100 Congolese people were forcibly brought to the city to be exhibited in a Congo pavilion. In this human zoo, 7 Congolese men ultimately died of disease, and today, this shocking episode still haunts Belgium as one of its colonial history's darkest chapters. This year, a monument to the victims was unveiled. France 24's Alex Le Bourdon reports.
This is music that has rarely resonated within the walls of this Antwerp cemetery. The Congolese anthem resounds in homage to the 7 men who died more than a century ago after being exhibited at the 1894 World's Fair held here in the Flanders region of Belgium.
144 Congolese people from the Congo Free State were displayed to the public as part of an exhibition. They were to show visitors their daily lives, traditions and customs in what is now recognized as an inhumane practice known today as a human zoo.
At the time, it wasn't called a human zoo, but an African village, a term that masks a far more brutal reality. Congolese people forcibly brought to Belgium, exposed to public view in precarious conditions. Among them, dozens would eventually contract diseases and 7 would not survive. The victims were finally recognized by this ceremony after requests by the Congolese community, but it took the city of Antwerp a long time to accept.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, the way they were treated and portrayed was not unique in Europe. Elsewhere, at World's Fairs, these villages were used for outright dehumanizing and racist colonial propaganda. There is no other way to describe it. The Congo Pavilion at the 1894 exhibition is one of the darkest chapters in our city's history.
This long-awaited recognition is welcome. From now on, a monument will remind visitors of this tragic episode.
This is something we must remember, especially given the history that binds us, the DRC and Belgium. Today the relationship is excellent. It's simply time to heal our wounds and move forward.
An official statement that resonates with the younger generation, like this influencer. She hopes the ceremony will bring peace to members of the Congolese community in Belgium.
How will this ceremony continue to guide us in addressing the questions we all face every day as children of the diaspora? Questions about our dual identity, the question of how these wounds must be transformed into strength and gateways to new opportunities.
An important step for the Congolese community, even though many would have preferred the monument to be located at the heart of the city rather than in a remote cemetery. Georgine Dubois, a researcher in colonial history, is among those advocating for a plaque to be placed here, in front of this museum, on the very spot where the human zoo was located 132 years ago.
Exhibiting people like in a zoo, this needs to be part of what people who come here need to know. People aren't going to go to the cemetery anyway to find out what happened. But here, we're in the center of Antwerp.
Especially since the port city still bears the scars of its heavy colonial history. At the time, Antwerp was rapidly becoming wealthy. The city notably housed the offices of major rubber companies.
Antwerp was the gateway for all colonial products, including rubber, ivory, cocoa, coffee, and tobacco initially. And later on, mineral products, primarily diamonds and copper.
A commercial history that's meticulously documented in the city archives.
Là, on peut voir à la fin donc une sorte de liste des textiles, d'autres produits, par exemple, hein, donc le caoutchouc.
On voit quand même déjà en 1800. Here we can see, even as early as 1894, a wide range of products were available to the people of Antwerp, giving them an idea of what they can exploit. Because that was also the purpose of the exhibition.
These very precise details contrast sharply with the lack of information concerning the people exhibited in the human zoo, apart from the men who had been to hospitals.
We don't have the names of these people. Who are they? Where exactly do they come from? We know that the Congo is vast. We know that Bangala and people from Kasai were exhibited. That much we know. It's documented. But what are these people called? We see faces, but they're nameless. Belgian colonial history is a history of nameless people.
A question that goes far beyond the case of Antwerp alone. How many other European zoos are still waiting to give a name to a large number of their victims?
That's all for now. Thank you for watching Eye on Africa.